What's up, my beater bros? Maine-iac here. It is late. I am sorry that I had downloads, uploads to do, stuff like that. Work in the yard, and I kind of impaled my foot with a nail. So we're going to try to get through this. I apologize if you don't hear an explanation for your team. If you want the reasoning for why they are where they are, just leave a comment in the comment section down below. I reply to everybody, so I will explain myself down there. It could be for any team. It doesn't have to be your team. Anyway, if you're new to this and you don't know how it works, it's more of a podcast style video with the biggest loser on the right, biggest gainer on the left. Okay, we start with the Cardinals. Tough loss for them. Might need to start looking forward to next year. 49ers at number 31, staying pat, like the Cardinals. Tough loss for them as well. Bethard looked really good in the first half, but the defense kind of cost them the game in that one. Not gonna lie. But if they can be more consistent, they got a bright future. And you have the Raiders at number 30. Might be rebuild mode time for the Raiders. Gruden, not doing so good now, are ya? Really earning that $10 million salary that you got, aren't you? Rumors of Amari Cooper being possibly traded for a first-round pick. If someone offers that, which I don't think anybody in the NFL in their right mind would offer a first-round pick for Amari Cooper, as inconsistent as he is. I'm not saying he's not good, but I think they're in rebuild mode, or at least they should be. A couple more losses. If they go to 1-8, I think they'll admit it as well. And the Giants at number 29, staying pat, struggled a lot against the Eagles. The offensive line looks abysmal. Eli looks abysmal. I do like how Saquon Barkley has looked right lately. He is deserving. He looks like he deserves to be a high draft pick like he was. He was second overall. But the state of the Giants, I don't think, is necessarily good for him. Did he deserve to be a second overall pick? Definitely. He deserves to be a top 2 pick. He's showing it right now. But I just wish he went to a different team that could have gave him a little bit more. Sorry about that. I had to cut the audio for a second. I started gagging. And then you have the Colts at number 28. Injuries are ravaging this team, but they're starting to get players back. Marlon Mack is back, and he looked like a Big Mac attack. Defense is looking a little better, a little bit more consistent. Andrew Luck is developing a level of consistency, which is good. And then you have the Bills suffering an injury to Josh Allen, out 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know if they're starting Josh Peterman, and I apologize, that is my fault. But you know what? I'll work on it as I talk. If they start Nathan Peterman, this team will plummet to the bottom of the list relatively shortly. And I do mean shortly. Like, they will literally be bottom of the list next week if they start Nathan Peterman. Nathan Peterman is a god-awful quarterback. Does he have potential? Yes. I like to think every quarterback in the league has at least some potential. But it's not a good team for the state of the Bills to have a quarterback like Peterman. Could Peterman play well in a system like New Orleans or New England? He could play better. But I'm not going to say he's going to play good. But anyway, Josh Allen might come back. Other than that, I don't know who's starting this week. This is being recorded on Tuesday if you were watching it later in the week. I would definitely be tempted to start someone other than Peterman. Anybody other than Peterman. Then you have the Bucks at number 26, dropping 5 spots. Tough loss to the Falcons. Couldn't take advantage of the holes on the defense. I don't know necessarily what is wrong with this team. They have talent on offense and defense. It's just not gelling together. It's like mixing vinegar and baking soda. Hopefully something clicks. Coaching staff could be on the line pretty soon. Jets at number 25, gaining 1 spot. They deserve to be higher, definitely. I'm just looking for a little bit more consistency. And a lot of it is also teams above them played really well as well. And the teams above them also won. So it's not a knock on the Jets by doing this, trust me. Good team. Defense looks better. This young talent on this team is tremendous. They should have a fantastic next 5 to 10 years if they can keep everybody. With Adams, and May on the defense. We have Darnold and Anderson on the offense. All it takes is maybe getting a superstar in free agency or something like that, and this team could be oh so good. And you have the Lions at number 24, bye week staying still, makes sense. 23 Browns couldn't stop the Chargers whatsoever. Chargers made them look foolish. Now, I don't know if I mentioned the Patrick Peterson possible trade that the Cardinals have floated around, but if anybody should trade for Patrick Peterson, maybe it's these Browns. He would bring a veteran leadership to that secondary. He's a great talent. I think he would improve Jabril Peppers and Denzel Ward and make that defense so much better. And then you have the Falcons at number 22. Even with the holes in the defense, they got a solid rhythm win, I should say, against the Buccaneers. I don't know if this will provide enough momentum. Devontae Freeman is on the IR, but win's a win. They played well. They got Julio Jones. Ridley injured himself, so I'm not sure if he'll play next week, but Sanu's also picking up the work. And Sanu and Julio is a good one, too. Surprising fact is Julio doesn't have a touchdown yet this year, and he has over 700 yards, which is incredible to think about it after 6 games. To not have a touchdown, but have average over 100 yards a game. Then you have the Broncos at number 21, dropping 3 spots. Tough loss against the Rams. Sanders with a costly taunting penalty, but he should know better than that. I don't care if he thinks the NFL's soft. It's in the rule book. You know it's in the rule book. It's been there for a little while. Doesn't mean just because you lose control of yourself that you have a right to criticize something you knew would happen if you did it, and you chose to do it. Run game looks not as good as it did the first couple weeks, but at least it's kind of consistent. And the pass rush is starting to get there a lot more. They do play Thursday night, so hopefully they can bounce back. They got a weak opponent in the Arizona Cardinals. Not an easy opponent because the Cardinals can still win this one. But if the Denver Broncos bounce back, they should hopefully gain momentum. Momentum is real in football. And the Cowboys, who gained 5 spots, good win over the Jaguars, absolutely dominating them. Probably the key factor in gaining the Cowboys at least 5 spots in this one is the defense looked great. Vander Esch looks like an incredible linebacker. That pass rush is solid. That secondary looks good as well. I'm not saying they have a complete defense. They have an exploitable defense, but it's probably the most complete Cowboys defense I've seen in a little while, at least in my opinion. And Dak Prescott looked good last week. He looked good, which is really good for the Cowboys. They need consistency. Gallup looks to be improving. As a rookie, that is also really important. Gallup could be a wide receiver who does prove that he can be a number 1 talent, especially if he keeps improving, because, as I said, he is a rookie. And you have the Texans gaining 3 spots as well. Tough win for them, but that wide receiver core is so dangerous with DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins could easily win MVP if people realize what he's had to do over the last 5 years with that revolving door of quarterbacks. Defense looks a lot better. J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney played well. And all I gotta say left for the Texans is that dreadlock tackle looked nasty. And yeah, the Seahawks gaining 2 spots. Russell Wilson played well. That offensive line played better. They weren't facing much of a pass rush in the Raiders because, hey, Raiders suck. Run game looked better. Defense looked better. And sometimes that's the kind of thing you need. You need to beat up on a weaker team to get your team back in rhythm. And Russell Wilson can carry this team to an additional couple of victories, so hopefully he does. He deserves to have some success, and thoughts and prayers go out to the Seahawks family with the passing of their owner. Hope all is well, and hopefully it might take a while. It might never happen, but hopefully hearts can heal. He was a great man, great owner, and he brought forth an incredible organization in the Seahawks and made them what they are today. Which is, or at least for the last 6-7 years, were a really fun team to watch. And yeah, the Titans dropping 5 spots to number 17. tough loss for them. They are dropping like bricks. They need to get their rhythm back, or it could be trouble. And you have the Dolphins gaining 2 spots, number 15. Probably deserve to be higher. But the major concern for me is Brock Osweiler was your quarterback last week. He's not going to be your starter every week. Everyone knows that. He got the win, which was good for them. But with Tannehill, can Tannehill be consistent? They are 4-2, and to me, 15 in this league is a possible Super Bowl contender. Anybody, I think, 17 or above, realistically, I could see them winning the Super Bowl. Consistency, the defensive line is still a weak point, but they are overcoming it. Frank Gore is incredible. I want Frank Gore so bad to reach 1,000 yards this year. If I have one wish this season, it is that Frank Gore to get 1,000 yards. Number 14, we have the Eagles gaining 1 spot. Good win over the Dolphins. Looks like they're starting to get their rhythm back a little bit. Hopefully they do. They are a fun team to watch. I wouldn't necessarily call it a Super Bowl hangover, but hopefully, Wentz keeps improving. I mean, sometimes with injuries like that, it takes a couple weeks to come back. So he's going to develop that rhythm, especially with Alshon Jeffrey coming back in and gain shape and stuff like that. Offensive line should be starting to play better soon as well, which would be fun. Then you have the Bears dropping 7 spots. Mitch Trubisky looked vulnerable. It looked like the Dolphins laid a blueprint out to beat him, which is not good. Because I've said this for a while with the Bears, when at near the start of the season, their wide receivers, their running backs, they look beatable. They have great running backs with Jordan Howard, and Tariq Cohen's a good running back as well. Trey Burton is a decent decent tight end. They got decent wide receivers in Allen Robinson and such, but they're all beatable. Mitch Trubisky needs to grow if they want this Bears team to compete. This defense can't carry them every week, as exposed by the Dolphins. Consistency is huge for me. Consistency is huge. That's the issue here. Hopefully the defense bounces back. I think Khalil Mack was also hurt in that game. Well, at least that's what I heard during one of the broadcasts. Wasn't really paying attention. I do apologize. At number 12, we have the Steelers gaining 4 spots. If you know me, you know I don't like rating divisional opponents, or at least divisional matches, well. There have been years where the Patriots have owned the AFC East. As I'm a Patriots fan, I feel more comfortable talking about that, so I apologize if it's wrong. There have been years where you can say, oh, the Patriots are 25 and whatever against the Bills, or they have an amazing record against the Jets and stuff like that. But if you take the fact that over the last decade and a half or decade, the Dolphins might not be seen as a great team, but the Dolphins have a decent record against the Patriots. Divisional records don't always reflect the talent in the team. Divisional opponents know each other so well that even with the Steelers being 25-4-1 in the state of Ohio in the last so many years or whatever, it's divisional opponents. Sometimes if you know how to beat someone, you just know how to beat someone. Overall, in the prospect of the NFL doesn't mean you're a better. Not necessarily. I mean, I'm not saying you're not, but not necessarily. The reason why the Steelers don't move up higher is they've beat the Bengals 6 times in a row. It doesn't matter how good the Bengals are. They just seem to. It's a divisional opponent. They played well. The defense played better. Offense clicked. Antonio Brown didn't have a lot of success until the last play. I believe that was a pick at the end of the game. NFL doesn't believe it was a pick. So, wasn't a pick, I guess. But the team looks more consistent, and that's huge for me. And then you have the Redskins at number 11 gaining 3 spots. Looked more consistent. Adrian Peterson, decent game. Alex Smith, decent game. Defensive line, decent game. And if this team could be solid all around, they definitely stand to win a lot more games. Near the Packers at number 10, solid comeback win by Aaron Rodgers, assisted by a defensive flag. I will say that the defensive flag was huge. I'm not going to credit just Aaron Rodgers for that win. That win really goes to a boneheaded defensive play by Richard Sherman. If you're a 49ers fan and you want to say that wasn't a flag, I am sorry. That was a flag. He made contact. That was technically defensive holding. That's how it's written in the rule book. Is that how it should be written? I'm not sure, but that's how it is written, and it was a flag. Gave one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now a second chance, and that's not something you do. Not against Brady, not against Breeze, not against Big Ben, not against Aaron Rodgers, not against probably Mahomes either. You don't give them second chances, and it cost them. Packers overall looked solid. Cobb looked solid. The defense looks to be getting in more of a rhythm, which is something I've always wanted for the Packers. They're more of a defensive rhythm. I believe I heard a report about Clinton Dix thinking this might be his last year in Green Bay, which is interesting. This is a team that could definitely compete for the NFC North. They're not currently in first place, right? Well, I think they're not currently in first place, but they're close. And then you have, or they could be in first place. I apologize if I'm wrong here. And you have the Bengals at number 9 dropping 2 spots. Yes, they could go lower than the Steelers, and they very well probably should. Giovanni Bernard should be coming back in the next couple of weeks. And like I said before with divisional opponents, I don't like taking them into consideration more or less for the fact that it's a familiar opponent, and sometimes coaches like that who have been coaching for so long just know how to beat you. Tough game for the Bengals, but Andy Dalton looked okay. Major concern for me, at least in that game, was the defense. Cheap shot by Burfict during one of the tackle plays, stuff like that. It's not like I'm not calling the Bengals defense dirty that game. The defense, that was one of the cleanest played games by the Bengals I have seen against the Steelers in a long time. So bravo to them. But when I say stuff like that hit, it's just, it didn't look like disciplined football on the defense. I don't know if it was emotions or anything like that, but if that defense can get more disciplined, that offense can find their rhythm. Boyd looked incredible, and of course I mentioned him in fantasy. So this team, I believe, is a top 10 NFL team. And then you have the Panthers at number 8, dropping 4 spots. Tough loss for them. Will they bounce back? I don't know. Cam Newton struggled in this one. So it's a 50-50 chance of them possibly staying still or losing next week. Or dropping in their next game, I should say. Hopefully Cam Newton finds consistency. Not necessarily at an MVP level. He doesn't have to worry about being his MVP self. If he can find at least a consistently good self, this Panthers team could be in really good shape. And then top 7, you have the Vikings at number 7, gaining 4 spots. Running game looked great. Latavius Murray had a huge game. Defense is looking better. Thielen looking incredible, setting records every day. Not much more to say. Kirk Cousins, hey. And then you have the Ravens at number 6, shutout win over the Titans, a possible playoff contender there. Crucial. Alex Collins and Joe Flacco looked good. That defense looked great. And that's one thing this team is going to have to do. They're going to have to rely on that defense to shut people down. 11 sacks. Is this a little too high for the Ravens? I don't know. You name me another team who had 11 sacks. Might they drop a little bit of the week, but I'm riding on 11 sack high. Forgive me for that. And at number 5, you have the Chargers, who are the biggest gainers, tied with the Cowboys, at gaining 5. That offense looks dangerous. You got Williams, and by Williams and Williams, I mean Tyrell and Mike. You got Keenan Allen looking dangerous. Gates looks dangerous even for as old as he is, at least NFL old, I should say. Melvin Gordon and Eckler, one of the more dangerous combinations at running back in the league. That defense looks incredible. Bosa should be coming back. And Derwin James looks so good in that offense. So good. Philip Rivers having a great year. Very under the radar year when you consider how good Breeze and Mahomes and stuff have been playing. Rivers is doing really good. Then you have the Patriots at number 4. I wanted to hold off on rating them higher than that. Yes, I'm aware that a lot of people have them at 2 because they beat the Chiefs. But just listen to my reason here. Patriots number 4. Defense looked shaky as fuck at the end of the game. I'm not going to apologize for swearing because it did. It looked shaky as fuck. Now, you allow like a 90 something yard punt return to give him an easy touchdown. You turn the ball over or whatever to give him an easy touchdown. Then you allow a 75-yard touchdown. That game shouldn't have been close, but that defense almost gave the game back. It looked good at the beginning of the game. Hightower with his first career interception, good for him. But that offense looks incredible. Gordon got elevated on the depth chart. I believe he's number 3 wide receiver right now. I don't know if he's like a 2B or 2A. Julian Edelman looks like he's in really good shape. Gronk looks like he's benefiting from the addition of Josh Gordon, I should say. And Sony Michel looks like an incredible rookie running back. If he keeps this kind of performance up, the 100-yard games and stuff like that, he could contend for AFC Rookie of the Year, or at least Offensive Rookie of the Year. At number 3, we have the New Orleans Saints. That's one issue with me of putting the Patriots at number 2, which would mean I have to put them above the Saints. I don't necessarily think the Patriots are better than the Saints right now, just for the fact the quality of weapons on the Saints, I believe, is better. And what I mean by that is I believe the Saints have a better number 1 wide receiver, better number 1 running back. Ingram's not even not even with the team for more than 1 game yet, so that should be getting going soon. And you have Drew Brees, who is a good quarterback, who is used to having a bad bad defensive team, I should say. So when your defense isn't necessarily bad, but isn't great, I think he performs really well with that. So I have the Saints at number 3, coming off a bye week. Then you have the Chiefs at number 2. Obviously, can't put them number 1. They just got beat. Since when do you have 2 undefeated teams and the one that got beat is number 1? The defense looked solid, or looked better throughout the game. Mahomes looked better throughout the game. They got better as the game went on. Justin Houston should be coming back. And Eric Berry, when he comes back, this team is going to be dangerous. I still think they're the second best team in the NFL. And you have the Rams at number 1. Gurley, oh Lord, Gurley, please never retire. That's all I got to say. Holy shit, is he the league's best running back right now or what? You could argue Bell, but Bell would have to play for that to actually be true. I could say it this way. Gurley currently is the best active running back in the league. It's not even close. It's him. Then on the tier below, it's possibly Elliott and Bell, if Bell played. And then below that is a few other running backs right there. But Gurley is on a pedestal. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.